You knew him as Theo Huxtable, the sharp, funny teenager on The Cosby Show. He made you laugh without trying too hard. But Malcolm-Jamal Warner wasn't acting out a role. He was growing up in front of millions, and somehow he came through it all with focus, dignity, and purpose. He was born August 18th, 1970, in Jersey City, New Jersey. His mother, Pamela Warner, named him after two men who meant something: Malcolm X and jazz legend Ahmad Jamal. She raised him as a single mom, and she did it with discipline and vision. Pamela wasn't just his mother. She was his manager, his teacher, and the reason that he stayed grounded. She homeschooled him on set, steered his career, and helped him avoid the chaos that ruins too many young actors. On the desk in his childhood bedroom, there was always a bass guitar and a 3-ring binder filled with early scripts. That binder stayed with him, even when he moved across cities. He once called it my education and compass. It was a true symbol of his work ethic. He had marked scenes, jotting notes, keeping himself focused while the cameras rolled. At just 14, Malcolm-Jamal became a household name. But behind the scenes, he was doing more than memorizing lines. He paid attention to everything: how scenes were blocked, how cameras moved, how a story was built. By 20, he was directing episodes of the very show that launched him. Not just as a vanity credit. He worked hard. He legitimately earned it. He went on to direct for other shows too, including The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And while his name popped up in a lot of cast lists over the years: Jeremiah, Read Between the Lines, The Resident, what mattered was the way that he carried himself. Never loud, never chasing the spotlight, just doing the work and doing it well. He was also a musician, an upright and electric bassist who played with a jazz and soul blend that reflected who he was: steady, thoughtful, layered. He founded his own band, released independent albums like Miles Long Mixtape, and performed spoken word with real emotional weight. He didn't care about mainstream charts. He cared about message and meaning. He never bragged about good deeds, but there were plenty. He supported arts education, mentored young actors off camera, and stayed connected to his roots. He never turned his back on the people who helped his climb. He credited his mother constantly, and he kept very close ties to co-stars who became extended family: Tempest Bledsoe and Keisha Knight Pulliam James. They all stayed in touch for decades. Those bonds, they mattered. Later in life, his role on The Resident reminded everyone just how good he really was. He played Dr. A.J. Austin and brought a seriousness and depth to the screen without a hint of showboating. Just solid, professional acting. On July 20th, 2025, while vacationing in Costa Rica, Malcolm-Jamal Warner tragically drowned in a swimming accident. He was 54. The outpouring that followed was deeply sincere. Friends, former co-stars, fans, they all remembered a man who kept his integrity intact, who never embarrassed the people who believed in him, and who proved that childhood fame does not have to be a curse. In that same era that left so many young stars burnt out, broken, or forgotten, he stayed steady. The binder, the bass, the quiet way that he moved through life. These weren't just props. They were proof. They were proof that it's possible to grow up on camera without losing your sense of who you are. Proof of what it takes to be a man. He once said, longevity comes when you commit to the work, not the fame. And when you step back and look at the full picture, it's not just one character or one show. It's a career, a lifelong legacy, built, lived, and deeply respected. These are Interesting Things with JC.